Morning guys, out today to do a single day kayak trip. I finally got some of my equipment up working as far as charging my laptop, and I've been looking for a place where I could combine my passion for being out here in the nature and still have some work done. It's not that you have to work all the time, but since I'm working online, well, I can see some potential in that. So I'm up at this lake. Look behind me. Doesn't it look good? Up among the mountains. It is a dam, it is a reservoir, and now as you can see here behind me, the water, well, you probably can't see that because you don't know the water level before, but it has risen. And so launch my kayak, it's not going to happen where I used to do it. But anyway, plan is to go way out there. First off, to do a little bit of recon in terms of see if I can spot some snakehead breeding grounds. I haven't brought my fishing equipment with me, it's just a one-day trip, because I'm also out for to look for a campsite that I can use later on. So I just decided to use this lovely Sunday and the good weather. But let me get started with the kayak, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, there you are, the beauty ready for a good day's kayaking. And it takes, as you've probably seen in the other video I've made, it only takes about 7-8 minutes to make it ready. If you are spending a little bit more time to make it perfect, obviously you can spend 10 minutes, but all it really takes to get this one up floating is 10 minutes or 7 minutes. So, yeah, well, there we are, heading off. It looks beautiful. I don't even think that the camera can make it any justice how beautiful it is here. But it also looks, as I said, is the end of the line for today. So if you look at the tree lines up there, then it sure suggests that once we get further into the rainy season, which has slowly started now, then I might be able to proceed further down there in the valley, and I'm looking forward to it. But for now, I suppose that's what it is.
ที่ยวครับ
อะไรนะ
ไปเที่ยวเหรอ
ใช่แล้วแต่ตอนนี้เบิ้งมีหนามน้อยนะผมคิดว่าผมจะไปไกลมากฝั่งนู้นน่ะไม่ได้แล้วไม่ได้ Lunchtime. I don't know how many kilometers I've been doing today. It's been a bit of a surprise. Did some detours, but it's about 2:15 p.m. and I thought now when I found this little spot that was not preoccupied by other fishermen that I wanted to set up a small primitive pitched camp here with my little camp chair and my DD tarp. But let me show you how it looks like here. I hope the sound goes in well. It's all of a sudden picked up a bit of wind. It did that actually the last 15-20 minutes I was paddling back to my point of origin. But yeah, well, here I'm sitting enjoying my lunch, and this is my view. Very, very nice. I really love it out here. There's quite a few local people out fishing, but apart from that, yeah, it's peaceful and it's good. But I'll just grab a bite and then I will tell you why I chose this particular wonder. Get back to you in a bit. Now, why did I choose Aguaglide Blackfoot XL? Well, the question is actually first to know why I chose Aguaglide. I'm not been into kayaking a lot. Don't know much about it, to be quite honest. So for me, it was something so new that I had to do an extensive research to figure out which one would fit my needs the best. Now, there's a lot of brands out there, and obviously I started probably like everybody else by searching for best touring kayaks, best fishing kayaks, best inflatable kayaks, because I realized that the inflatable ones had technologically reached an advanced stage where it was possible to have something that fit my need, but I needed to find out which one was the best. And I did hit a lot of good brands, and I did hit a lot of big names, and well, as much as they were interesting, they all lacked something. Either they did not have self-bailing holes, or they were having a workload which was too low, or they had a price tag which was too high, or well, maybe just aesthetically it just didn't like them. But every time I was doing this research, I was having a lot of choices if I had the top 5 or the top 10, and none of them at any given time was Aguaglide. But by some coincidence, I came across it anyway, and I thought, wow, that was an aesthetic pleasing kayak, and I was wondering, why is that not one of those kayaks which should be on the top 5 or top 10? And I probably did as most other people, but I decided to keep on going, because if a lot of people haven't acknowledged it, it probably wasn't all that good. But no matter how I flipped and turned the dime, I kept going full circle back to it, and the more I looked into it, the more in love I fell in with this particular one. This is the Blackfoot Aguaglide hard bottom XL, which means it's fit 2 kayakers but can do with 1. Now, in my research, I also realized that there might be a very plausible reason why this one never pops up in the top 5 or top 10 kayaks. And that's got to do with the same problem that I encountered when I was a photographer. Really didn't see Sony cameras coming up that often. It's because people are so accustomed to certain brands, and if you don't know any better, you just go by the ones who has proven throughout years and years and years to be good at what they're doing. But Aguaglide seems to be very well known within the aqua parks, aqua fun parks. And to me, being a novice to the whole lot, that was really what hit the nail for me. If you got somebody
who is able to produce something as good looking as this. And reviews have shown that those who have tried it and used it, they love it. And you have a manufacturer who has proven to be one of the best in the world to make aqua parks where you got children, you got grown-ups, and they're all having a good laugh and they're jumping around and they are putting a lot of strain on the equipment, and yet it holds up. And you can Google equipment, you'll see it's huge constructions they're talking about. So I thought, if I'm going to take something into Thailand and I'm going to use it on the rivers and I got to go to some mild or wide water and I want to make sure it holds up to the shit that the Thais might throw in the water as well. I mean, I couldn't think of anybody else that I'd rather want to do than the Aguaglide. Now, once that was kind of settled, I started looking further into the details of this one, and what I really liked about it is you had this cone head, which is hardened up, so it really can take more beating. You got the handle in the front, you've got deck lacing. As you can see, I have this particular bag is with all my electronic equipment and camera equipment. I like to have it handy, I like to have it above water level, and in a dry bag it will stay dry. But what really stands out on these inflatable kayak compared to the competitors is you got these 7 Scotty mounts. You got 3 on each side, basically 2 in front of the seat, which you got there, and then you got another one, which, because I put my seat quite a bit backwards compared to what people probably normally would do if they were riding this kayak on their own, but this one is then level with the seat. And then furthermore, if I just can get to it, we have got another Scotty mount right there. So you have the option of having tables in there, you can have your camera equipment mounted, you can have rod holders. Well, it's really up to you what you want to use it for. And when you bought this kayak as a basic model, so to speak, the seat came along with it, and which is just pitched with 2 hook loops here, carabiners. And it's velcroed to the bottom, which means it stays put, it's there. And as you can see, when you're riding the kayak, eventually there will pump some water in here. But what that is, it's also self-bailing holes, where you can just unplug it down there, and then the water will fall out. But remember, this is a little trick here. The water is, this is self-bailing holes, which really just means that it will equalize the level of water with the outside. So at this point, the water, there's quite a bit of water in there, but it doesn't matter. It's still below water surface from the outside when I'm riding the kayak. I did that mistake once. Thought, okay, I seem to have too much water in it now. Now I want to have it out, and boops, I just started filling up the kayak. But it does mean if you go into wide water, then you'll have the water pouring into the kayak, but instead of having it filling out, it won't sink anyway. Then it will just drain out. Along with it, also got this cooling bag. You could probably use it just to put your fish in it when you catch something. It's got 4 rod holders with some plastic in it here, which just put into it and put perfectly. I use it for camera holders as it is right now. And well, yeah, then you just got a little storage space here in the back and another handle. And again, the end of it is also hardened there, so that the chances of having it damaged is minimal. Inflating very quickly, you got these inflators here. There's one there and one on the other side. You got one on the bottom. These side pong-tongs here, they take 2 psi, which is fairly good. Now you can say he's probably could handle a little bit more now. Been out for half a day. But what's really impressive is the drop stitch bottom, because that is hard. We're talking rock hard. And this one is at 6 psi. The pump I have that I use for this one is, I've got it here in front, right there, you can see it, just the bottom of it here. That's a double action pump, which basically means that whatever you do, you're still pumping air into the kayak. But the trick is that if you put the pipe to the other side of the pump, it has a reverse action, which means every pump you do, you pull air out of the kayak. And this is the reason why it just takes 5, 6, 7 minutes to inflate, but it takes equally as much time to deflate. So it's a brilliant piece of kit, absolutely. And as I said, competitors, yeah, they're doing it well. but this one has a workload of 600 pounds. Now I'm a 230 pound guy. I do like to bring extra equipment with me when I don't have to carry it on my back, but I would never get anywhere close to 600 pounds. But to have a bit of space to work with, I like that. And I'm planning on bringing my dog along as well once I get some places where it could be fun to bring her out. But basically I can't really say enough good about it, and I don't even get commission. But I really like this one. It tracks perfectly. We got a skeg in the bag you can take on and off depending on what kind of water you're in. So yeah, it's a perfect piece of tool. It really is. And it looks great in these surroundings, doesn't it? It just looks great. Now, I bought this one in Australia. I bought it by Air Kayaks in Australia, and well, they've asked me to make a review for them. I haven't got around to it yet, but also felt like I needed to try it out a few times before I start writing about it. But one thing I could have write about right away is the service. Gosh, I've been buying a lot of things online, but that guy down there that I was in contact with, he's a top man. At a certain point, I actually felt like I was feeling too sorry for him, because I kept having questions about this and that, and halfway through the process, when I wanted to buy this one, I thought maybe the Aguaglide Columbia might be the right one, and it's a slightly longer one. I was worried about the workload. I was worried about the space because I'm a big guy, but this guy down there helped me out everything. It was not just a matter of, oh, okay, you got a kayak, you bought it, well, that's yours. No, there was a little much more to it. So I can highly recommend buying your kayak down there. Now, obviously, Aguaglide has their main office, as far as I understand, in the US, in somewhere close to Seattle, Portland, I think it is. But for me, living in Northern Thailand, it just came down to money to begin with. It was too expensive for me to have it shipped over from the US to Thailand with customs and shipment and whatnot, while it was significantly cheaper for me to have that done from Queensland in Australia. But anyway, guys, if you haven't decided yet what to go for, if you are the kind of guy who thinks that if you are choosing a brand that has a name and has proven to be in competitions and whatnot in terms of kayaking, well, then there are some brands to choose from. If you want to choose a kayak that you're really going to be happy about, which is rugged and good, I can guarantee you this one will do it for you. I'm using my one basically for touring. I'm just out there having a good laugh. I will be getting into fishing as well, because in this particular place where I'm right now, you can actually catch giant snakefish, which is a thrill to catch. A friend of mine just had a trip out to this place and did it the other day and showed me a few videos, and oh, let's just say that the old dream of fishing, which I've done a lot before, it just came alive again. I want to do that. But I'll send other videos with it once we get there. Anyway, cheers guys.